So last weekend my sister, who lives alone with her boyfriend, came to our house and I played the game Speedrunners with them. Now I began to like the game, so that weekend I went out and bought a paysafe card, which is a code that you can buy in set amounts of money and use online to buy things. So I wanted to buy Speedrunners, which is what I did, but there was still basically half of the money left, despite the fact that I bought the smallest amount I could. So I went on G2A, went to all games, and searched for games under this price limit. Now I searched for quite a long time and ultimately ended up choosing two games that just about fit in. This was Oxenfree and Mr. Shifty. Now the second one is also a good and fun game, but it's not the focus of this video. Now I remember seeing the Let's Play of Oxenfree from Jacksepticeye a few years back, and I remember it was actually pretty good, so I had high expectations, and despite all of this, it blew me away with just how amazing it was to play. So let me tell you why you should play Oxenfree. Quick note before the video starts, let me say that I haven't really wrote any essays or anything like that before, and this is pretty new to me, so I'm sorry if the video is like all over the place, but I felt like trying something new, and you know, who knows, maybe it works. And also, I don't really know too much about what I'm talking about. I'm just giving my opinion of why I love this game, so basically I'm just spitting random nonsense and hope it works. So yeah, that's all. Let's get on with the video. The game starts off on a boat, or a ferry as they call it, where one of your friends, Ren, starts explaining where you are headed, which is an island named Edward's Island. Your stepbrother Jonas, who you just met, is also there, and of course Alex, who you play as in the story. The selling point of the game is obviously dialogue, which consists of you having three choices. This usually revolves around being nice and being not so nice, or being neutral. Now this massively simplifies the dialogue, since the game's characters are quite complex. Your relationship between you and them relies solely on your actions and how you talk to them. This really immerses you in the experience and makes you feel like you're actually talking to real people, because the responses they give and the way they talk is just so damn realistic, which is quite obviously what Night School Studio was aiming for. The game's story is also extremely creative, or maybe the word interesting would suit it better, and I mean that in a very good way. When you are given the chance to talk using the three options I talked about before, it works in the way of someone says something, the speech bubbles appear and the three options are shown to you, and after a while they start fading away, which reveals the fourth option, not saying anything at all. Since you only have those three options that are presented to you, there are occasions when you don't feel like any of them fit what you want to say. In this case, you could just say nothing. Now oftentimes, if the three options given to you wouldn't change what the other person would have said in a big way, they just continue on with their speech. But if it's a situation where you absolutely have to make a decision, otherwise the game can't really progress anywhere, then that usually results in the game choosing for you in some way. For example, there's this scene where you have to choose out of three people who you want to go with you. So you are given three options for each person. But if you choose not to say anything, the game just makes one of the characters say, "Alright Alex, let's go." Basically choosing for you, so that you don't get stuck. Now this out of context may seem like a very cheap way to force the player to progress forward, but if you actually play the game and get to this part, it will make a lot more sense and seem a lot more seamless. The game has a lot of mysteries surrounding it that has still yet to be explained, but they're usually just shrugged off as, it's not important, which is a bummer since I think there are a lot of things said in the game that just need an explanation. Now I can't really give an example to this without spoiling the game, so I'm just not going to say anything, but I'm quite sure you're gonna find at least 2 or 3 things like this that you were like, wait, what does that mean? Oxenfree is definitely unique and deserves all the praise that it got when it was released. It makes you think about your choices, since it teaches you from the start that what you do and say will actually have an impact on the other characters and potentially you as well. This type of depth in dialogue in games is quite rare, and while sure, a game like Fallout 4 for example follows a similar concept of an NPC talking to you, and then you are given a set amount of options to choose from, the difference is quite big, since the NPCs in those games to me feel like they're just there to give info and objectives, and aren't really actual people living in the wasteland. This is quite a bad example for me to give, since I did not play very much of Fallout 4, so I'm not exactly qualified to talk about it, but based off of my own experience, it definitely feels kind of lifeless. On the other hand, Oxenfree gives all the characters a distinct personality, and they actually act accordingly to the situations that they are in. Now this of course comes with the fact that Fallout 4 is an open world type game, and making dialogue for every possible situation would be impossible. And Oxenfree is a much more linear game with a set story that you can't really stray much away from, only change in ways that the game has preset options for. It's also true that Oxenfree has far less characters, but this is actually a good thing, since those few characters are fully fleshed out, and all of them were given a lot of attention, so that, they turn out the way that the developers wanted them to. To summarize, I think if you enjoy reading or watching a movie that's more laid back and not very action-based, then you will love Oxenfree. So with that being said, I really hope I was able to inspire anyone to play the game with this short video. I honestly expected it to be longer, but without spoiling things, it's pretty hard to talk about why the game is so great. But with that being said, good luck waiting another 5 years